Now, if you're like most women in this community, you are probably going just a little bit stir crazy with this whole pandemic. And if you're like me, your hair is getting a little too long. And worse off, if you're single and you were talking to a guy before this whole pandemic thing broke out, you're probably starting to get a little concerned that things are starting to fizzle out with that guy. I received this email just the other day. Hi Adam, so I met this amazing guy online and we're hitting it off really quickly. Definitely lots of chemistry during video chats and texting. Due to the pandemic, we might not actually get to meet each other for weeks or months. Do you have any videos that could help with this, or maybe you could make some, please? I'm worried that he might be losing interest or get bored at some point. How do I prevent this? I'm sure that a lot of other women would be interested too. Thank you so much, Marissa, for asking that question. And because you asked that question, I'm gonna give you one full year of access to the Sexy Confidence Club, where you can access the community, all of the courses in there, the live Q&A sessions, all of that stuff completely free. And for those of you who are watching this video right now and you want to have your question answered by me, just leave a comment right there below. We're going to be having a ton of great giveaways for those people who are asking questions. For those questions we do end up using in videos like this, we have a ton of great giveaways this upcoming year. So leave your question right there below. I'd love to answer it in an upcoming video. And also, if you do enjoy this format, please give this video a like. It really helps me out a lot. Tip number one is to not invest too much emotionally in someone that you really have just started dating, or certainly someone that you haven't even met yet. One of the biggest mistakes that all of us make early on when we start talking to someone, or certainly when we start dating someone, is to fall in love with the idea of someone rather than the reality of who that person really is. And what I'm finding is that a lot of you right now, because of the pandemic, are relying on online dating or chat or texting to be able to connect with other people. And what it does is creates this inflated idea of who that person is, and it sets the wrong expectation of who that person is when you finally meet them in real life. Now, of course, when we're not in the middle of social distancing, it's really easy. Basically, you want to transition that conversation pretty quickly into the offline world, aka just meet that person. But right now, that's a little bit trickier. So the best thing you can do is really temper your emotions, remind yourself of this one thing. This guy is still a stranger. You don't know that much about him, and don't allow yourself to fall into this trap of thinking of yourself together in a relationship and married and having kids together and moving way too far down the line when, again, he's just a stranger. You don't even know this dude. For all you know, when you do end up meeting this person or spending a lot of time with this person, he could smell bad. He could be a complete dick. He could kick dogs. He could hate the Patriots. He could chew with his mouth open. This list could go on, and these are all things that you can only discover in the real world. So let's wrap up my first very long-winded tip with this big idea, and that is that if it does end up fading out, that's okay. It wasn't meant to be, and he's just a stranger. Tip number two is, please, whatever you do, don't chase him. We as humans have a natural tendency where if someone starts to pull away a little bit or things start to slow down in a relationship, we have a tendency to want to close that gap, to keep that space exactly the same as it always was. But I really want you to fight this instinct. Realize that right now, especially during this pandemic, it's going to feel like there's this enormous space between you and whoever it is that you're talking to. And that's just the reality of life right now. And what I want you to avoid is making that mistake of chasing him and trying to talk to him every single day and text him and call him and FaceTime him and Zoom him, and so that he feels almost suffocated even though he's not even able to see you at all right now. So be sure to really match his pace of communication. He might be busy right now. I know there are plenty of people who are working from home. And I know there are plenty of people who have absolutely nothing else to do than just rewatch Game of Thrones. So just match his pace and just allow things to develop naturally. And once again, if that fails, go back to tip number one, and that is, it's okay if it fades. Tip number three is have him make an investment in you. Now, I definitely don't mean a financial investment. I mean an effort investment. If you're finding right now, for example, you're always texting with each other, then tell him to give you a call later that night or maybe tomorrow when you're available. By the very act of him having to actually pick up the phone and give you a call or even FaceTime you, suddenly now that is a step up in investment. He's more invested in the relationship. And what we found, and through human psychology, the more people invest anything, whether it's their time, energy, resources into something, the more they value that thing. So have him call you. And if he won't call you, then he's not making any investment. And if he's not making any investment, it's probably not going to work out, and go to tip number 1. Tip number 4 is just to remember that this dude that you're talking to, he's not going anywhere, and he's definitely not meeting lots of other women right now. Everyone who's single right now is struggling. Everyone who's single right now is starving for connection, but we're not able to create that connection due to social distancing. So just remember that he's probably going through a lot of the pains and frustrations that you're going through. And then once we get over the hump of this thing, there's going to be this rubber band effect where everyone is going to start going out, meeting each other once again. He's going to want to see you, you're going to want to see him, and you're finally going to have that opportunity to create that real connection in real life. And tip number 5, and this is always the case, but it's an important reminder, and that is to always keep your options open. If you're not in a committed relationship with this guy, then you should be talking to other guys. You should be keeping your online dating profile available and entertaining any potential option, because you're not committed to this guy and he's not committed to you. And since we all have a lot of time on our hands right now, you want to learn the 3 biggest dating mistakes that make men pull away. I have a free training. It's called Why Men Pull Away. It's a webinar. I'd love for you to come join. I'll leave a link in the description or my bio or anywhere on the screen. And finally, if you do enjoy this video, give it a like and leave a comment right there below. What are some of the challenges you're going through right now with this crazy pandemic? Leave that comment and I will have more videos coming out for you very soon on this very topic. Speak to you very soon, you sexy single lady. Bye-bye.